crispy.
What's up, y'all, and welcome back to another episode of Theorization. And today I bring to you my first. Well, I finished this. Let me see. Let me backtrack here. So I finished this pretty much before the new year, but went back today and did a couple of extra things. So I'll say I finished it today officially. So it's my first finished Dio of 2021. So what we have here is a pretty much a dojo. I was contacted by a gentleman who wanted a dojo, and he specifically pointed me to Michael Padilla's one of his episodes. It might have been 14, 17, I'm not sure, but he pointed me that way. He said he wanted something similar to that. I countered with something that was a little different, and he kind of wanted to kind of stick a little bit to the script. So this is where we're at, and I'm very happy with the way it came out. Okay, oh man, let me see. How do we start this? So it is about 26 inches long, and it is 14 inches tall from here to the top. It is 16 and a half inches tall, or excuse me, long. And just the dojo itself, we're looking at about 13 inches deep. So there's a lot happening here, man. This is one of those projects that that's the best way to describe it. It's not easy. These aren't easy. There's a lot of moving parts. You got to take a lot into account as you're creating these. Excuse me. So let me try my very best to break this down, and then we can go from there. So first and foremost, the whole thing is made out of insulation foam board. The pink stuff that you can get either at Home Depot. The green stuff is sold at Lowe's. Either one is fine. The green one is a little more dense, but they pretty much work the same way. I also used balsa and basswood in some areas, like here and here. This is actually part of the foam. This is actually basswood. This basswood lining the windows here and on the inside as well. So the secondary, product for the most part was the basswood. There's some up here as well. And this is all fully magnetized. We're going to kind of go through everything. And I'm going to try my best to keep this to 10 minutes, although I'm at the 3-minute mark, so that should be interesting. So here's a G.I. Joe, the new G.I. Joe 6-inch figures, Ninja 4 scale, and it falls right into place. And what I'll do is probably the best thing to do is talk about each, kind of level off each piece, and we go from there. So first and foremost, let me take this Ninja off. This is just balsa wood, and because I have the procs on, what I did actually is looked up a design online, drew it, folded paper in half, drew it, so when you open it up you're getting the equal amount. So then I drew it on pink foam, and then I used my trusty Proxon, and was able to not perfectly do it, but do it in not perfectly, is there's a couple divots here, but it's wood, so it can happen. But I did it in a way where I'm kind of happy with it, and I love the way I kind of constructed this as well, where I don't know if you could tell, but like here, this is a piece of the foam that's sticking out, and then this one is not dug into it, so it's almost like a little puzzle piece. And I kind of like how this came out. So this is the first piece. This is removable. Actually, I'm going to start kind of laying it down on the bed as I go along. All right. The stairs. These are absolutely removable. It's just balsa wood. Balsa wood. Insulation foam board, and it's just 2 pieces put together, and then each piece is kind of cut out so that you can have the steps that kind of go with. And I see. Yeah, sorry. So so it's in scale to the steps of 6-inch figures. Sorry about that. I just thought something was gonna start playing, and I wanted to make sure I stopped it before I start playing. Second part is this. So this is also a piece that can be removed. So you can just have the dojo by itself with none of these pieces. But this is just kind of he kind of wanted a courtyard type outside piece. So I created this, and I think it came out pretty good. I've used this before. This is this stuff here, because people usually ask me what I use. It's basically grass mat, light green grass mat. It's a 19 by 25. I got it for $7.99 at Hobby Lobby, and hopefully this will get you. The company is JTT and Partners, or where they're headquartered. So yes, because a lot of times where do you get that? And this is the model number right there. So use that to just have some grass going, and then pretty much everything else, like this floor is just one piece, and all 4 of these walls are 4 separate pieces. So let's start off with the roof is on fire. Also give you a chance to kind of look on the inside. So I created this with a space there, and then at the end there was kind of a gap in the back, and I wasn't sure what to do with it. And so I was like, let me just put kind of a rising sun type of design. I thought it fit perfectly well. I did have to put that piece of balsa wood there because there was a little bit of a gap, but that piece helped it out tremendously. So this is the kind of the roof ceiling, and this piece helps kind of prop it up, and I'll show that in a minute. But this is one of the pieces. The other piece is this piece that's right here. So by laying that roof on here and on here, you don't need to magnetize it. Pretty easy. I'm about to take this front piece. As I take this front piece out, the doors will fall. If you can see here, these doors are on a track. This is just balsa wood as well, and there's a track above. You can probably see a little bit here. So once I lift this up, but the doors do function. They do open and close. They won't fall back or forth. This one's a little bit stiffer, but this kind of still does the same thing. It closes, it opens. So, but then once you kind of take this out, they fall apart. So let's go through the door real quick first and foremost. So what I did here is, this is just a piece of balsa wood, like really thin balsa wood. I had explained this in a video at some point, and this is just foam. So usually I put 2 pieces of foam, but it warps a little bit. This does a better job of kind of keeping dry. When I painted it, it started to warp, and I kind of weighted it down with some books, and it turned out pretty good at the end. This is a balsa wood here as well. This is actually this is foam sheet, and just another piece of basswood there, or balsa wood there. And this is just that mesh that I usually use. So a lot of times people ask me why I don't do both sides of a door. This is funny because me and my ex actually got into a discussion about this. It was hilarious. She felt that you can take a picture of both sides of a door at the same time, and I told her that shit is impossible. How can you take a picture of one side of the door and another one at the same time? She proceeded I gotta love her. She proceeded to get on the chair, climb the chair, put the camera, we were doing this with a real life door, put the camera above it, and she tried to capture so the camera would get both. Impossible. You can't do it. You can't capture both sides of a door. So instead of preparing both sides of a door, all you have to do, if you want to kind of do shots from the other side, you're just going to put the doors like this. There's really no need to put all the work into 2 sides of a door, when even if it's down, even if there's nothing that can ever in any picture show the 2 sides. So I thought that was a pretty, and actually went on to test a few more people, and most people was like, nah, you can't do it. A few people actually tried. So yeah, so these are the doors. And then, and as I'm kind of going through this, I'm laying everything out on the bed as well, so that you guys can kind of, ooh, man, the camera got crazy. All right, so let's pull this one up, and I'm not going to finish this in 10 minutes. So this is how the system works. As I was telling you guys, that's the track right there, and this is the other track. You can see it a little bit here, so you can see how the doors kind of fall in there. I had shown this door before, kind of how I did this, so it's probably the best way to show it. So I had it literally cut this way, cut that way, and just, man, it was not easy. And this looked so bad that I just put this paper over it. And again, the doors would be there, like I had put this paper, and then I had put some tape because I wanted to get some paint in there and not paint the door, and it kind of ripped off the paper a little bit, but it doesn't matter because for the most part you're not going to show this die with no doors, and if you're showing it with the doors will definitely be covering this. So but yeah, so that's how I created that pretty much. Magnetized, you can't see it, but you can see the magnets there, and it's here, but it's just hidden behind the paper. So this is wall number 1. Then we have the inside of the dojo. So this is where you can take some different shots. Let me turn off this big overhead light so you guys can kind of get a better idea of what it looks like when you start taking shots, by just kind of shining the light on the outside of the dial. It lights it up pretty good, And like this level, this light has 3 different settings, so you can kind of see how you can set up some shots here. You can put the roof ceiling on and do some angled shots, and you're gonna get the top of the dial. This is just kind of a straw type mat, and this is just vinyl here. And I did have to glue down the vinyl with the glue gun. That's what I'm trying to say. And this is just all the wood type design. It's just made by hand using a comb, pretty much. This is all paper that they use for scrapbooking. That's that mesh that I've shown a bunch of times. But let's keep going with the breakdown. Let me turn this back on. Then this is kind of interesting. So this is magnetized to those two, right? You take this one off. You'll see where the magnets are there. Magnet, 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 magnet. This boy has a lot of magnets. So one of the things that I kind of ran into was, unfortunately, I can't find these pieces of mesh anymore. So I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do because this is kind of almost a 360 dial. So what I did is I figured in my mind, if you're gonna take shots from the outside, and let's say you're gonna light up the inside, you can't really tell. You know, so I just kind of went that route with it. But I did frame it, so it does kind of still look pretty tight. So this is just one wall, double-sided. And then the top is carved because when you because you can do some shots on the roof as well. Then you have, and once I take this part out, watch what happens. Same thing here. And then this back side is not magnetized to anything. The only thing is magnetized is to the sides here, but it's not like planted down. I'm talking like the camera's over here, and that's not good. So it's not magnetized, so it doesn't clamp down. When you magnetize the other pieces, so it kind of brings it together. So this is the back wall, and then last but not least is kind of the floor. This is all just one piece. You can see the magnets there on the side is what keeps it kind of together. And then what I did is I've used this system before, where I just use these guys to peg in, but I kind of like it floating. I think it looks pretty cool. But this is just 2 pieces of balsa wood to make I keep saying balsa wood, Jesus, insulation foam board to make it look like wood. And this is just the longest piece is just this bottom piece, and these peg in. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So you guys have any other questions, or if you have questions, comments, concerns, leave them at the end. And pretty much let's lay this down so you guys can get a better idea here. And this is what it looks like. And everything is laid out. Let me see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pieces make up this. 11 pieces was the stairs. Alright, y'all. Try to make it 10 minutes. I went 3 minutes over. Happy New Year. Have a good one. 2021. Let's do this. Peace.